Hello, hello. Yeah, I want to talk about 2014's Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, um, Riz Ahmed, and Rene Russo, written and directed by Dan Gilroy. It's the story of Jake Gyllenhaal plays a sociopath who gets involved in kind of 24-hour car crash news, tracking down violent crimes for a small network, a local network in America, and completely inveigles his way into the company, becoming increasingly more committed to taking over the company, building his business, and becoming a success. It's a story of capitalism and trash media. Um, I loved it when it first came out. I've watched it since. I loved it. Um, Jake Gyllenhaal is an absolute legend in it. His thin, gone face and wide eyes. He really does seem detached. His arse is as tight as a drum. He's like, it's difficult to understand what's going on in his head, and there's so much fun in watching the film as the story unfolds. It's shot brilliantly with Rob Ellsworth. That can go over your head, but to watch it the second time is to bring on more curiosity. There's vague references to his childhood. You get no sense of what that was like or where he came from. All that matters is he's struggling and he's getting ahead. Jake Gyllenhaal is obviously 40 or so in it, which is a little too old for the character. Um, because, a person with this kind of ego and a sociopathic condition, he would have found a way to get ahead sooner. Um, Somebody should make a film about uh, a younger version of Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Lou Bloom. It's an interesting name. I'd love to know more about the backstory. It's a fantastic piece of cinema. Um, the scenes between him and Rene Russo, whereas he's pursuing her and badgering her and negotiating a romance slash professional career, are the best in the whole film. And his heavy hardline negotiating with Riz Ahmed is absolutely fantastic as well, who seems completely overwhelmed with the workload that they're in. There's a real glee in it. I mean, it's a cult classic with that, but I don't see why you shouldn't find the comedy in it. Like, just the absurdity of how obnoxious or ignorant or, passive aggressive. These are all the qualities that we would have tried to, hammer out of the modern office work, safe spaces and so forth. He completely smashes that to a tread with his quiet hammering of verbal exchanges between everyone in the film. Bill Paxton shows up, who's just immediately a breath of fresh air. Not a breath of fresh air in the film, just as always, such a reassuring and warm presence. Of course, lifted to immortality with the TV show Big Love and Aliens. But it's a really, really great piece of cinema. Structurally, it's fantastic. There's loads you can take away if you're storytelling. Um, yeah, just ace film all around. Writing, directing. I did have a thought. Like, I mean, to me, the mystery that you should ponder if you're watching it is like Lou Bloom. His darkness is only revealed to us. I would have wondered if, at this juncture in his life, did he become darker because of his actions in the film, or was that always there? And I think the way it's written and acted, it's always there. It might have been more interesting to kind of take a character who's on the verge of sociopathy and just dump him straight into it. Um, like a man becoming completely detached from the world through greed and avarice at that midpoint in his life. I think it could be something really interesting to explore there. But nonetheless, it's absolutely fantastic. Um, there are scenes to laugh at. The exchanges of him and Riz Ahmed and Rene Russo, absolutely fantastic. Um, the start of the film can kind of throw you because the strangeness of his character will take you a minute to adjust to what you're seeing. Um, and as a work of art, obviously it's commenting on all of us on our iPhones and our obsession with looking at things. We've all gotten used to looking at harsh realities online. So you're observing the work of art. It's not asking you to root for this character, but just to watch him. And in the spirit of the content of the film, car crash news, we can't take our eyes off it. And our obsession with car crash news, there's got to be something tied to where all denied that we're not in denial that we're gonna die, and to see someone murdered or in a violent crime is to remind us of that. Maybe that's perverse, maybe that's natural self-enforcement protection or something like that. But some fun stuff to ponder if you watch the film again, or if you haven't seen it before. Kind of drink in some of the things I've said if you want. As always, share the videos, like and subscribe. Leave comments if there's any films you think that I should revisit.